I think on average people get around 120 to 130K as a base salary. These are two different things. Like cracking the interview and being able to perform under pressure. Just preparing for the interview doesn't make you good at data science. There's no concept of off campus and on campus in the US. You have to find your own job. I think my portfolio was my LinkedIn profile.
So in the recent time, many of you have asked these type of questions to me, like AI boom is in the market. So is it really going to take our job? And the Devin is in the market, which is the AI software engineer. So all these things in combine are going to replace the tech jobs. What is the job market and opportunities for the data scientist in India, outside India, whether the master's degree is mandatory or not, how much DSA you need to prepare to crack the data scientist role, how can someone target the data science role outside India, how much compensation they usually get there, and the companies which are outside India and hiring for the data scientist role, then what do they usually expect, how their interview process take place, and how you can prepare the solid portfolio to get the internship and the full-time job opportunities as a fresher for the data scientist role, and many other such type of questions which you have asked to me. I thought, why not to bring someone who has already seen all these things, including the impact of COVID, recession, and she has observed the market for the data science role in India, outside India, and presently working there. So she will be the right person to answer all such queries in depth. So watch this podcast till the very end, because this podcast is full of information. And if you are someone who is beginner into the data science and want to grab such type of amazing opportunities, then this is the right podcast to watch, because you will understand step by step thing. So stay there for next 30 minutes and enjoy this wonderful information. And before that, a very important announcement for all the aspiring data scientists. So irrespective of your background, doesn't matter whether you know anything about data science or not, or even you don't know anything about the data domain, and you aspire to be a data scientist and want to crack high paying job in really good product based companies, and we are starting our most affordable live classroom environment, industry enriched, and the very first batch of our data science bootcamp, where you will be learning things from the basic to advance, a very structured curriculum. Sequentially all the things will be covered, starting from the Python math starts until your advanced machine learning. And the best part is that we will be implementing the real world projects, and not just running the codes in the notebooks, but implementing it end to end, plus deploying it onto the Azure cloud, so that you can get to know how things actually work in the companies in the production environment. Live classes are starting from tomorrow, so you just have few hours. Link is given in the description. You can still avail the early bird offer and enroll in the bootcamp as soon as possible, because this bootcamp is only for the limited number of people. And plus you can also visit www.growdataskills.com to get more information about the bootcamp. All right, so thank you so much, Pranjali, for joining me in this podcast. Really excited to have a wonderful conversation about the data science, because it will help a lot of aspiring data scientists who are watching this podcast. So first of all, why not to start from your introduction, if you can talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for having me, Shashank. Hello, everyone. I'm Pranjali, and you can call me Pranjali. I'm currently working as a data scientist too at Autodesk in the data products and insights team. And yeah, I think a little bit about my background. I did my master's in computer science with a concentration in data science from University of Massachusetts Amherst. And yeah, I think I'm here. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Pursuing for the master's degree in the data science was already in your plan after the graduation, or it just happened randomly? Also, during your graduation, when and how did you finalize that yes, data science is something which looks like a promising career and you would like to pursue it?
Yeah, I think it definitely wasn't planned. I wanted to do a higher education, but I wasn't sure if it's going to be master's in the US or it's going to be MTech here. So yeah, I think I started off with my first ever internship, which was in mobile app development. So I know there was a lot of craze about building apps and like building like Android App Studio, like a lot of certifications, online courses that people were doing. So I definitely enrolled for one and I actually liked doing it. So that's how I actually got my first ever internship after doing an online course on mobile app development. So after I was done with my internship, I remember a lot of people were enrolling, a lot of seniors were enrolling for like data science courses, and everybody wanted to become a data scientist or a machine learning engineer. So I was like, okay, I really am not sure what this craze is about. So why not just try enrolling in a few courses and see if that works out for me. And I really loved working on a data science project is what I would say. I have explored a lot of different fields like robotics, mobile app development, but I definitely resonated with data science. So yeah, I think that's how I finalized that okay, I actually want to pursue something in data science, and yeah, I want to pursue a master's degree in data science.
When and how did you get your first job as a data scientist? So, pursuing masters in data science was one thing, but yeah, I think the most challenging thing which I have heard about the data science domain all the time, getting the right opportunities, because I have also heard lots of queries that there are no opportunities for the fresher. So how did it work for you? Like, how did you get your first job, that too in USA, and as a fresher for the data scientist role?
Yeah, I think so I definitely was doing my masters, right? I was doing a masters in computer science with my concentration in data science. So while doing my masters, I was making sure that I have the right skill set that is needed for cracking the data science interview and for becoming a data scientist. I would definitely say these are two different things. Like cracking the interview and being able to perform under pressure when you're working as a data scientist, these are like definitely two different things. So just preparing for the interview doesn't make you good at data science. So definitely working overtime, doing projects, and trying to understand the core of data science is where the whole challenge comes. So I think definitely I had started preparing from my undergrad itself, try to upskill in the field of data science, did some projects, try to build my profile. And during my masters, I thought, okay, let me do an internship. And think that doing an internship and getting it converted to a full time role is easier than just solely looking for a full time role. So I did my data science intern for 3 to 4 months, and there was a scope for extending it. I did for 5 months in total. And yeah, I think my performance was good during the internship, and that's how I got my first job as data scientist.
So, did you apply for these internship opportunities off campus? So, if I talk about the job hunting part, was it through LinkedIn or some hiring job portals outside India, which works out really well? How did it happen for you?
So I would say definitely a lot and lot of networking has definitely helped me in making connections. So that is one thing. And obviously, I said learning skills. I did a lot of online courses. I did a lot of online certifications. Even during my masters, I would suggest like statistics is definitely like one of the main components. So I made sure that I'm good at it. So yeah, I think these are the three components. And obviously, I did apply. I mean, there's nothing like there's no concept of off campus and on campus in the US. You have to find your own job. So yeah, I think I applied using LinkedIn and career website. For Autodesk, I applied using a career website via referral. So I do suggest that if you really like some company and you really resonate with the role that they have opened, definitely if you know people, or you can cold message people on LinkedIn for a referral, it definitely helps a lot. So yeah, I applied outside it was not on campus. And yeah, like applying using a referral definitely helped me.
Pranjali, as you focused and emphasized a little bit on the projects part itself, and I would like to understand from yourself, being a data scientist, how much portfolio matters, and if it when it comes to the portfolio, how someone can maintain it. How did you do it? Like maintain it on a GitHub or some other strategy to have a very solid portfolio so that you can showcase your data science related work during the interviews.
Yeah, I think my portfolio was my LinkedIn profile for sure, keeping it updated, having all the projects listed. I do believe that I remember in, I think, a couple of years ago, I had actually worked with Dialogflow, and I had put a project which where I had actually used Dialogflow on LinkedIn. And even now, I actually get a lot of people who actually try to connect with me and they say that, okay, we're looking for somebody who's good at dialogue flow. And that was like 3 years ago. So that's when I understand how important just having keywords and having your LinkedIn profile complete is. You can definitely have a portfolio, is what I would say. That definitely is like your own personal website where somebody can go and look at what you've worked on. But I think LinkedIn is definitely just keeping it updated, having everything listed on. I have all my certifications, I have all my projects, even the links to my GitHub projects. Specifically, independently, I've actually put those. I have asked people to endorse me if they've worked with me, and also just giving like a referral or just writing 2 or 3 lines about you if you worked with them. So that makes a complete LinkedIn profile. So that is something which has definitely helped me, because LinkedIn, through LinkedIn, I've gotten a lot of calls for interviews, just cold messaging people, cold emailing people, and sending them my LinkedIn profile. It still works. So I definitely vouch for having a complete and reviewed LinkedIn profile.
Cool. So moving on to the next question, Pranjali. I think you would have also got this type of question so many times. So many aspiring data scientists have this doubt that a master's degree is mandatory to get a job in the data science domain. So is it really true, or do you have a different opinion on this based on your experience?
To be honest, I so during my time, I definitely don't think that master's degree was required, and I still do not believe it 100% is what I would say that it's mandatory. No, I don't think it's mandatory. I know a lot of freshers who do not have a master's degree still working as a data scientist. I know a lot of freshers who graduated and are now senior data scientists. So I do not agree with degree being mandatory. Does master's degree help you? For sure. Like 100%, it definitely helps you because you have an advanced degree in a field. So obviously employers will look at it in that way, that okay, this person has a master's degree, a little more experience, a little more knowledge, has worked more with projects or on research projects. So definitely they would give you a little more attention, is what I would say. But I don't think it is mandatory when you actually ask me about it. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So overall, it would be like if you don't have it, that's totally fine, like not a mandatory, but if you have it, then it will have some extra advantages with respect to the
Yeah,
opportunities.
I think it's the same. I mean, I know a lot of people who do masters and then they are like, is a PhD degree mandatory? So I think it never stops. It just never stops. And PhD people might be like, okay, it's not really mandatory. You have a master's degree. So I think it's just the hierarchy, and we'll always feel that whatever we have is less.
If someone is targeting a data science job outside India, then what kind of in-depth skills someone should acquire step by step, and what do these companies expect from a candidate in their overall interview process? So I'm talking about everything like outside India, whatever company someone is targeting. So if we can help the aspiring data scientists with respect to their skill set, what they can focus on, and what companies would be expecting from them in interviews.
Got it. So I would say it's 7 components if you want to get into data science. The first is the statistics and probability component for sure. So definitely do one course, be good at the basics of statistics and probability, because they're definitely going to test you out. And it would definitely sound like a deal breaker, because as a data scientist, you're supposed to know how to do statistical testings and how you'd be able to perform exploratory data analysis. So definitely statistics and probability. Second is what I would say is case study analysis. Like, given a matrix, given a situation, how are you going to resolve this? What is your approach? Like, let us consider one matrix has gone down. As a data scientist, how are you going to find the reasons behind it? And what are you going to do after you find the reasons behind it? So, leveraging data to kind of understand the situation. I think that's case study analysis. Third thing would be exploratory data analysis using any programming language that you're interested in. Given a data set, what are the step by step procedure that you would do just to kind of analyze that particular data set. Fourth would be, I think, your data structures and algorithms for software engineering, for data science. I think coding is something which is kind of important. So definitely Fourth component is that. Fifth component is SQL. Definitely know how to query data. They'll give you a few sample queries and sample data set, and you just have to write the solutions for it. Sixth, I would be, I think, machine learning basics. If the team is more machine learning oriented, where you have to do a little bit of modeling. If it's not, then I think the other components would be enough. And seventh would be finally behavioral, which I think applies for most of the roles. Yeah.
How do you see the data science job market and job opportunities in India versus outside India? Because when you were in India completing your graduation, obviously you would have explored the market, or you might have got some inputs from your seniors with respect to the opportunities. And now you are outside India, so how do you compare these things, and how would you like to give some insights about the same to our audience?
Yeah, I think job opportunities definitely are similar in India and outside India. I think there are a lot of different factors that come along with living in India and outside India. So that is why people kind of choose to live in India and outside India. But I think job opportunities are definitely very similar. Maybe the compensation range might be a little different. And I think people in the US do not have to like I know a lot of people whom I have talked to in India, they have to stay awake for a pretty long time to kind of connect with people in the US. So that doesn't happen. There's a good work-life balance here in the US, which I rarely see in India, or at least the people I've talked to who have been working in different companies, they definitely find it a little more, I think, stressful, and they are still working after their working hours, which is taken pretty seriously in the US here. At least most of the companies do. So I think that is one component. But in terms of job opportunities, I do feel if the market is bad here, the market is bad there. If the market is bad there, the market is bad here as well. So it's definitely proportional.
How much DSA is important to become a data scientist? Do companies even ask the DSA in their interviews? And also the depth of mathematics, because again, as I said, mathematics is itself a very big ocean. So how much expertise, like somebody has to be a pro mathematician to get into the data scientist role? So what's your take on this?
I wouldn't say mathematician, but definitely statistician. Like I wouldn't say pro at statistics, but definitely basics of statistics is asked to you during the interview. And DSA, definitely an expertise in DSA, because I thought, okay, like it's not a software engineering role, it's not an engineering role. Do I really need to know DSA? But during the interviews, I was literally grilled on DSA. And those were not even like the easy questions. Those were like medium to hard lead code questions. So I was like, okay, so DSA is something which they are definitely focusing on. So expertise, and I would not expertise to put it that way, but definitely good at basics of DSA so that you can solve complex problems and being able to practice as much as you can. And statistics, probability, basics. Basics are way more than enough. Just being maybe applications, a few would definitely be helpful. Like how can you apply this into real world? But yeah, I think these two are the components that everybody needs to focus on.
Nowadays, I also get a lot of queries like AI is booming and it will take our job. Why do companies need data scientists now? Because ChatGPT is helping in the automation, it can do everything. Now, Devin is in the market, which will replace the tech jobs like the software engineering. So, what is your answer for such questions? Because you are already a data scientist and you know how things are working behind the scenes. So, how would you convince them if this is not the case, or if this is the case, then what is the reality?
So I do not agree with replacing, like definitely AI replacing tech jobs, but I do agree with it reducing tech jobs for sure, because I feel a lot of things could be automated right now. And obviously, I'm sure a lot of techies, even including me, use Chat GPT at times. So we don't have to like go through the documents and from basics look at Stack Overflow and just look at why this error is happening. I mean, there were so many ways we used to kind of just web scrape and try to find and resolve something or work on a particular task. But I do not believe it would replace tech jobs, because I myself have tried it. There have been times where I have asked a certain question and it did give me a solution, but just debugging that solution took me like hours. So I definitely feel there's a lot of feedback loop. I mean, a lot of people say that, okay, maybe if you train it enough, the AI might actually get better than humans. But I don't think that, because I feel the creativity aspect, the innovation aspect that humans basically contribute to. Like, let us consider we are having like an app. We are just kind of building or working on an app. I mean, I don't think Chat GPT could definitely give me ideas. And if I just do a particular chat and ask more questions, follow up questions, it'll be able to answer me. But I just feel that back and forth and just different perspectives that a human being can give. I don't think an AI could do that, because that's all trained. And how many humans are you going to train the AI on, right? So definitely, I do not believe that it would replace, but it would definitely reduce the workforce.
How do you like still continue contributing to the data science community because you are now a working professional? So how do you still do that?
So I actually love like networking, and that's how we met, and I'm really glad that we did. So I really love networking. I try hosting workshops, data science workshops, to kind of educate people, try going on networking events in different universities, or becoming the speaker of a certain session to kind of educate people on what I know and what I don't know. Because I remember when I was looking for jobs, a lot of people have helped me, and a lot of people have helped me with whatever information they've had. So I just feel it's my part to kind of contribute to the community. I'm also like, apart from after working hours, I also work as a peer reviewer for like top conferences like ACL, which is like Association for Computational Linguistics. So yeah, I think there are a lot of different things that I do, and I'm currently also working as a mentor on TopMate. So that kind of helps me, and those are completely free sessions. It's like I just love meeting people and advising them as much as I can, because I know that I was advised when I needed help. So yeah, I think that's how I continue contributing and learning to the data science community.
How much money a data scientist make outside India? In India, people might have some ideas about it, but what is the scene in outside India?
I think it's very dependent and very subjective on the location where you're living within the US. But I think on a range, it would start maybe at least at 100K, is what I would say, like at 100K base salary. And it can obviously keep going depending on whatever your level is. I think on average, people get around 120 to 130K as a base salary. And obviously compensation, so base and total compensation obviously is a different part, your equity, your bonus. So a lot of people get bonus as around 30,000 per year depending on the performance, 0 to 30,000 depending on your performance. And I think the equity also could be depending on your performance. Those are refresher stocks, which you could get around, I don't know, 0 to $40,000, again dependent on your performance. And I think salary increase every year is around 4 to 7 to 8%, I suppose.
So overall, we can say, I mean, the total target compensation could be 200k, and when we say 120k, 150k, we are talking in terms of dollars, not in terms of INRs, obviously. So 200k dollars, right?
Yes, on average for sure.
Yeah, this was really informative, Pranjali, to be very honest. From the first question till the last, it was filled with too much of information, and people have got the really good perspective of the data science job outside India and how they can work on it. And you have emphasized on very important points, be it the skill set, the portfolio, and what companies can expect in the interviews. So, a very, very big thank you from my side and from the entire audience that you came here and shared your valuable experience with us. So, yeah, all the very best for your future and whatever you are doing for the data science community, and hope we will we will definitely have another podcast and talking about some different topics. So very very big thank you from our side.
Thank you so much for having me, Shashank, and this was great. So yeah, I hope in the future we collaborate more. But thank you so much again. Yeah.
So that is what I had in this amazing podcast for all of you. I hope you have got the important insights from this podcast and you have enjoyed this wonderful experience of Pranjali, and I hope she was able to answer most of your queries. But still, if you feel you have some questions, then feel free to put it in the comment section and we will definitely record another podcast. And if you want to see something else or you have the recommendation for some other topics and you want me to create a podcast for the same, then also let me know in the comment section. And if you found this podcast very informative, make sure to hit the like button, and also if you're new to the channel, then smash the subscribe button and plus the notification icon. And I will see you guys really soon with another amazing podcast. Till then, just keep exploring data.